Hello everyone and welcome back to Abstract Medicine. I do hope you are doing well. We're going to be looking at, I'm not sure just yet because I haven't actually invoked the messages just yet from the spirit, but we'll see what comes through. So let's just begin, shall we? Thank you angels, ancestors and guides, and thank you Abstract Medicine Collective. Thank you for being with me here for a long time, for many years, for some of you as well, and for booking your private readings. Lots of amazing new people have been joining here on Abstract Medicine, here on YouTube channel, of course over on TikTok for private readings too, tarot, oracle, shamanic healing sessions as well. It's been, and it continues to be, a great honor, so thank you so much and for trusting in me. I conduct all of my sessions in the languages that I am able to speak in, which is English, Italian, Spanish, and if necessary French. On Sketchbook Club we actually have a French person there, so sometimes it's quite good to be able to assist them in French as well. So yeah, okay, so we have the Three of Swords and the Three of Pentacles. So remember in the last reading for Lionsgate energy, I did mention that the number 333 is going to be very significant. And we have a 33 here. So the Lionsgate portal video is a snippet of what's to come. I will, of course, be doing a Lionsgate video when the time comes around end of July. Queen of Pentacles, Knight of Chalices, and the Lovers. Okay, Spirit wants me to get another deck, so I'm going to do that. So I've chosen this particular deck, which is the Heart and Hands Tarot, gifted to me by my good friend Autumn for my birthday about 2 years ago now. Okay, Heart and Hands. 5. We have the Hierophant here. Okay. Got the 8 of Coins. Alright, let me just pull out the cards and then we'll see. We've got the 5 of Swords. We have 55 here and 33, okay? So take note of that, and the Emperor. And we have the 9 of Cups. Let's have a look at the bottom of the deck for this one. This tarot deck is the the Wheel of the Year. We have the Chariot. Okay. So what I'm seeing here is some of you are all about your bag, all about making money, all about securing and stabilizing your reality and your future, financially speaking. I see that. I see that some of you have had some issues with work. I know this also from the private readings, the private sessions that I've been having with some of you as my clients, that some of you are looking for new jobs, some of you are very dissatisfied at work, and I see that some of you are also making important choices for something new, something better, something healthy, something that is going to be inspirational, something where there is a team spirit rather than deceptive energies. Because I see here with the 5 of Swords and the 3 of Swords and the 3 of Pentacles here that there has been some sort of interference, let's say energetically, with the people that you've been working with. And I see here that there's this message that either a woman in a position of power who is at a higher standing than you, a higher position, maybe this is like a manager, a boss, could be offering you an opportunity that is going to make you very wealthy. This could also be a woman who comes in who you don't even know, and she is in a position that can be very inspirational but also can open many doors for you in your career, and you will be able to be very financially successful. This is the positive choice that you will be making. And other messages for those of you who are not working, I see that a mother, your mother, will be giving you an opportunity with some sort of investment opportunity or some sort of way to, maybe this is an inheritance or something to continue the family line. I'm hearing this could also be property, interior design here with the Queen of Pentacles and the Three of Coins. It involves creative, interior upgrading. This could also be I know we have the Emperor here, but this isn't the energy that I'm picking up on, just so you know. It's definitely a female energy that's coming in to offer something quite substantial. For those of you who are pensioners, I see that you are making your house ready. You are making, some of you are actually going to sell your property, or you're finding a way to do the necessary upgrades for your household, for your property, so that it looks good on the market, so that you can sell. Because with the Hierophant here, it talks about an office or an institution. And I see here that with the Eight of Pentacles, you're polishing your coins, you're polishing one of your investments at the very least. There could also be some of you who are women who are single and you've already been married, you've been divorced, been there, done that, got the t-shirt kind of energy. And I see here that you're not necessarily interested in love, romantically speaking. You are interested in loving, fulfilling events. It's not to say that you're completely dried up, because I do see that you are still very either sexually interested or sexually active. But I see that there's this energy of you're good where you are. You know, we've got the Queen of Coins, but it's also the energy of the Queen of Swords. Okay, so I see here that some of you who are mothers could be getting your house ready, because your house, the land where your house is or even you know this intuitively, that your house is actually preparing itself for nuptials. So nuptials, for those of you who don't speak English, I will just say that it's the event of a marriage ceremony. Okay, so I do see that there could be an opportunity here where your property or land that belongs to your lineage, particularly the mothers or the women in your line, are getting the land ready for this to happen. Maybe the land has actually been telling you this. Maybe the land has been speaking to you. I see that a lot of you who are women, and the women in your line, your lineage, are very connected to sorry, I just heard something. It's a tarot cards, and I think one of them just moved. Hang on a sec. It's sort of, you know, it's that kind of energy. It's sort of like paranormal, intuition, spirit coming in with numerological, synchronistic numbers, and symbols that, and the crow, the owl here, and the owls are also symbolic of you having a connection, or the women in your line being very intuitive. I'm picking up on witches, medicine women, and I see here that there could be an opportunity for you to continue your religious practice, which you love. But I also see, because we have this like rosary here, I also see that you're mainly focused on maybe a charity that belongs to an important benefactor or an important person who's a woman who is looking after other women, supporting other women, and possibly even families and children. So this could be some sort of charity involving women and children that you might be getting involved in. Maybe at your local church, your local temple, your local mosque. This could also be your community endeavours are going to be enhancing in the next few days, I feel. I also get the sense that with the Queen of Pentacles, this is someone who is very wealthy and someone who doesn't need to work. So this is the energy of marrying into money, or having made your own money, and now you're mainly about being on the boards of an association, you're being on a board in a committee, so that you're able to lend your hand, metaphorically speaking, to an issue or an event or an endeavour or a charity that means a lot to you. This is also a really, really great way to communicate and to connect with your community, as well as making new friends. And I also see that some of you could be doing this regardless of your age or status in life. I see that you could be meeting someone quite fun, can be a bit flirtatious, but I feel like mainly is someone who's kind of romantic and wears their heart on their sleeve. This could also be an artist with a Knight of Chalices here. This could be an artist or someone who inspires you to get creative or to be a bit more creative in your endeavours. I also see that you could be supporting someone to get married, or say, for example, someone wants to get married, right? So you know someone who wants to get married. This is a friend of a friend, and you say, actually, I've got the perfect event place. I have my house that I could rent out for you at a great offer, and they'll say, we love it, we'd love to get married on your grounds, and it's beautiful. It's very fair and copacetic. Now, moving on to this energy a little bit more, I see that there could be a main man in your life. Now, this could be your ex-husband, particularly, but this could also be someone who you are currently married to, or someone who you were thinking about getting married to. There seems to be some sort of cold energy around you or within the relationship, because we have the energy of marriage here, and all the way here is the Emperor. Now, when there was happiness and joy, it was overflowing with the Nine of Cups. But I see here with the Four of Cups just showing its face here, there could have been some sort of upset, some sort of sadness or stagnation in the relationship, in the connection. For some of you, this could be a person that you were with who you thought you have a long-term relationship with, but you ended up actually breaking up with this person and calling it quits, and rather there be a separation and then an ending completely in the relationship, so that you could just be really focused and dedicated religiously to your work, and focusing more on building networks, building community, building on your skills, your talents, and your betterment as a person as well. And so I do see that. I see a lot of you are kind of being a bit more selfish. I've been feeling and I've been picking up on a lot of your energies, collectively speaking, but also in the private readings, that a lot of you are positively now thinking more about focusing on your desires than your needs being met. It doesn't mean that you're stopping yourself from being copacetic, being in an energy of collaboration, and an energy of negotiation, and an energy of having a listening ear. Not at all, but it's now your energy is more focused on, okay, this is your life, and there are choices that need to be made, the right choices that need to be made, that are in alignment with your life purpose, like what makes you happy, what brings you joy, what brings you more love into your life, what inspires you, who inspires you. Being around those energies, being around those networks, being around those people, being in an environment that is supportive at work, and also maybe there's a particular woman in your life, a mother figure, an auntie, a grandmother, being more in connection with them so that you can get great advice, reliable advice here. And I see that here, that's just really working wonderfully for you. And I want to say also the Chariot here is telling me that there was an energy that in the past you were very excited about, and you actually took a leap of courage towards it, and you ended up showing yourself that you, by doing what you love, by doing what you're scared of doing as well, taking a courageous act towards it, you actually end up seeing the fruits of your labour. You become successful, and you have seen recently that that act of bold action, I see that you can now see that recently it paid off. So congratulations. Is there anything else that Spirit wants to share? The Nine of Swords, the Two of Cups, the Lovers. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cover her up, I think, somehow. I don't know. There. Hang on. There you go. The Tower, the Five of Swords. Yeah, you know, there was a destructive there was a destruction in a relationship recently. We can see that here. There was also a bit of confusion, and I see that one person in the relationship was kind of putting things into your head, telling you or making you feel uncomfortable or insecure or wanting. There's an energy of codependency here. I also see that there was a toxicity in the relationship. Maybe it was just the physical, sexual intimacy that was holding you together in more ways than one. But I see that actually that had to end. That so-called bond that was a false bond had to end, and you realize that someone was lying in the connection, was deceitful in the connection. I think right now during Mercury retrograde, you're sort of weighing up your experiences. You're not necessarily regretful of the choices that you have made up until now. What I'm seeing is that you are, especially with this moon in Cancer, I think it is right now, there's this energy of you making sure that you're not having nostalgia about something that was actually very toxic and very destructive, and you're making sure that you have a clear head with your past memories. Spirit is definitely helping you with that clarity of mind. So that's just confirmation. Spirit is saying that the messages that are coming through here in the reading are true. Let's see what else there is. What else is there? We have the Nine of Coins, the Knight of Swords, Two of Swords. What's this about, Spirit? What is this about, Spirit? You know, there seems to be someone or an energy here that is trying to distract you from your tasks. Someone who is, you know, you're just paying your own mind. I mean, there's an energy of you pretty much content with your life. You work really well in a team, but you work better independently, I would say. I also think that your experiences have taught you that your independent mind provides more fruit. You achieve more by taking action on things that you can take action on. This is the energy of someone who just pulls the sleeves up and just gets to business, you know, gets to work. This could also be you. I'm just hearing, like, you know, for example, DIY. You know, for me, I do a lot of DIY around the house, and it's kind of a means to an end. I end up enjoying it. I do enjoy it, actually. But it's also something that I found is quite attractive, you know, or other people have found that quite attractive in me, that I'm able to just do things, you know, not necessarily in a way that is hyper independent. This is not the energy I'm picking up on. I feel like there's this energy where you're pretty good at getting on with it, essentially. I would just say in life in general, you're pretty good at getting over things, you're pretty good at getting on with things, you're pretty good at making things happen, you're pretty good at having self-initiative, you have an independent mind. There's not much that, or anyone that can really sway you from that. And for that reason, because you have a real strength within you, there's this energy of people who try to dismantle that. And essentially I'm hearing, and I keep hearing as I've been saying this, by the way, someone wants to try to disrupt your peace. Someone wants to come in and cause chaos or provoke you into an argument or conflict, if anything. And you're just happy here, you know, under the sunset's phase, picking grapes, making bounty, making wine, which actually ends up helping the whole community, because you do a menial task, you sing as you work, or you whistle as you work, right? A bit like the Seven Dwarves. And as you're whistling and you're working, the product of the pickings that you have been making and you have been doing ends up serving a whole community because you've made wine out of it. This is also the energy of turning water into wine. Now, I do see that there is some of you who really do understand truly what alchemy is. It's not just a phrase, it's not just a way of saying things that is kind of hippity hop right now. This is actually you experiencing your own alchemy. You know, having gone through, this is not necessarily a phoenix rising, it's slightly different. This is understanding the elements, and this is understanding how to manipulate the elements. As I say that, it's very windy just now. So there's this energy of you really making ends meet, in the sense that you're connecting the dots with why certain things happen, how to use the elements, how to work with the seasons, and how to transmute pain into true power. And there are people around you who are very perplexed with how you keep rising, how you keep shining, how you pay no mind to the attempted destruction or distraction of other people. You just keep going, and if anything, you do very well with what you do. I also get the sense that you're destined for great wealth and great fame, great recognition, and you know this now. And the fact that you know this, that there is an awareness, una consapevolezza in Italian, you are understanding that there are people around you who will try to sabotage your success, want your success, siphon your energy, try to get your energy, try to get and gain what is not theirs for themselves. And you know, the saying, what is meant for you will find you. And there are some people who in this lifetime do not want to do the alchemical work, the transformational work that is necessary, that is also really intended in the majority of people on this planet. We are living in a dimension, we are living on a planet that has many vortexes, has many dimensional shifts, and we have people who are not fully human. You must at this point understand and appreciate that. And if you don't, it has been time that you wake up to this reality. There are people, we got the Temperance card and the Ace of Swords upside down. I'll talk about this in a second. But there are people who are non-player characters, non-NPCs. There are people that don't have souls on this planet. I'll say this again. There are people on this planet who do not have a soul. Okay? There are people that are copies of themselves. I can't say the specific word here on YouTube, but there are people who are copies of themselves. And when there are copies of themselves, when there are copies of the same blueprint, if you will, what happens is that there ends up being a consciousness transfer, but consciousness is not the soul. Consciousness is not the soul. And I will say that each person has a soul contract, a mission and an experience to fulfill in every and each lifetime. So some souls will choose to have their soul replaced. Some souls will have their energy harvested. Some won't. There are many, many layers to this game of life. Many layers. And a lot of what your understanding of science fiction is actually science fact. And there's going to be more and more of this as we move forward into our further realities. Now remember, you can choose your own reality, by the way, and you can also choose to remove yourself from what you see, what you're being indoctrinated in, etc., etc. There's a lot of this energy right now in the collective that is becoming more aware, more online, more understanding. Online in the sense of more aware and awake to the possibility and the reality of sentient beings who are presiding, living among us. There are non-player characters, that there are copies of each other, that there are, this is, you know, in India they speak about this, you know, they continue to speak about this. It's not just Ayurveda being an ancient medicine or an ancient way of life. Ayurveda is yoga. It's daily. It goes across time and space, right? So this is Maya. Maya is the illusion. We are living in an illusion. We are living in a simulation. And I see that some of you, I'm so grateful and so glad that I've been on the journey with you to help and assist you into your awakenings, because there's always more than one, isn't there? There's always more than one awakening. But anyway, I digress. That was really important that Spirit came through with that message. We have the Temperance card, the Ace of Swords upside down, and we've got the Five of Cups in the reverse. There seems to be an angel that wants to speak to you, a messenger that wants to speak to you, that has an important message they want to share with you, but you're not letting them in. I'm seeing that some of you are blocking the message to come through, and I see that the reason is because you're scared of you being disappointed with the messages that come through. Now, I am also a medium, as you know. All of the information that I'm sharing here is all on my website. Everything you need to know about me as a professional artist and a professional healer is all on my website. Everything is there, okay? There's links to interviews that I have been on. There's the accreditation is there. The fact that you keep bookings with me is there, you know. So it's all there. But yeah, the mediumship sessions, there can be people that just, you know, are open to the idea of getting a mediumship session, and then they're like, oh, and I can feel the energy. I can feel them trying to, you know, shut down. They're like, oh, I don't know if I want to hear about that. Well, you know, me as a messenger myself, I have to. It's kind of like the law, that one of the spiritual laws. I have to declare. I have to share, relay the information, the message that comes through if you are open to it. I won't share it if you're not open to it, but you have decided to be open to it by booking the reading with me, and there will be messages from a loved one that you've booked that come through, but there will also be messages from other people that will come through that I don't know who they are. I do not know these people. I've not known these people. But there will be messages from other people, the ancestors, other ancestors, your guides that come through that want to share information. But I feel like some of you are just very resistant to some of the messages that a main messenger, an angel of yours, a main guide, or even an ancestor, or many ancestors want to share with you, by the way. You're afraid of being disappointed with the message. But there's also, don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. Which is a true thing. It's a real thing. You know, this used to happen during, this used to happen when we didn't have the internet. There would be a page. This is why we have the tarot, right? Because it shows you the levels of society. The page is the messenger. And so the page would go to, you know, run from one camp to another war of camp, for example, or run from, there'll be the knight. Then the knight would share the message to the page, and the page would be in the court and run up the stairs and deliver the message to the king. And the king would say, what is it that you're declaring? What is your message? And the page would unravel a scroll or a letter or a note and share this message to the king or the queen. And if the king and the queen didn't like the message, out of, I don't know, tyrannical action or spontaneous, anger, they would just go and shoot the messenger, which is the page. It's not the page's fault. Now, the page is someone who's very young. So can you imagine how many messengers were shot or killed or stabbed because the king or the queen didn't like the message, or even the emperor didn't like the message that was being delivered? Now, the page is a very important, I've got to share this. This is a message that's coming through from Spirit, and we have the Prince of Swords here, which is a page, by the way. We have the Page of Swords and Page of Communication. The page is an indelible, very important element to the court system and to communication lines. And so the page has to be alive to share the message, go through hoops and bounds and traverse certain maybe difficult areas, negotiate, work with, have trust with knights from other enemy camps, for example, to deliver the message and do a back and forth. So I do see here, we have Archangel Raphael's energy here, because we have a caduceus wand. This person is a healer, someone who is communicating a message of healing. Someone is communicating a message of healing, and we have the beautiful wings here. So Archangel Raphael has a message about healing that he, she, they would like to share. Seven of Cups. The message is coming to you in your dreams. The message has been coming to you in your dreams, and it's a message about you having already planted a seed, planted a new beginning, stabilized something new and exciting that is based on your work, a job. Maybe this is your investments, some of your stocks and trades, something that you wanted to begin, initiate, or have. This could also be having a child, maybe for the first time, or again, maybe in your later years. The message has been coming through in your dream space. Archangel Raphael is saying that he has been sharing the message about whatever that you have desired, that involves healing, that involves awakening, that involves your ancestors, that involves transformation, that involves you unshackling yourselves from negative attachments, that also involves your house or a new house, that also involves riches and wealth, but also things that haven't quite been physically revealed in the conscious state just yet. I see that Archangel Raphael would like to share these messages. I actually feel, to be honest with you, that this whole reading has been guided by Archangel Raphael, because with the Lovers card that we had earlier and the Queen of Pentacles, I get the sense, and the Emperor, I get the sense that with Archangel Raphael not only working with, you know, your healing and medicine and your well-being overall, he's also the matchmaker. He's also the angel that deals with true love. So I see here that your answered prayers are coming, but most of it so far right now is coming through in the dreams space, or, you know, your moments of just like subconscious reset, you know, when you're just off the internet, you're reading, you're just lying down, you're in nature, you're looking at the sky, you're looking at the sea, you're looking at people walking by, you're having a coffee, you know, just menial, boring things that we get to honor more so in this digital world that we're living in as well. You know, those are the moments when he comes in, kind of like the moment when the fairy Tinkerbell in Peter Pan, the movie with Robin Williams, says, I'm in between that state when you're just about to wake up. And it's those moments that Archangel Raphael comes in with messages as well. So the messages from Archangel Raphael, furthermore, are about you being someone who is a bit of an alien yourself. You have a very enhanced capability to see beyond realities, especially with this very pronounced forehead here. I see here that a lot of you may have connections or ancestry with Mexico, Latin America, Central America specifically. I just had Easter Island as well, Peloponnese. I also see that there's a grand new chapter beginning that you're going to be embarking on with someone new, a new relationship. I do feel like deep down, aside the work, aside the study, aside the refinement, aside you know, doing more tweaks in your career, making sure that you are always pulling your sleeves up, good to go, ready to work, using your own initiative, but also someone who is polishing your gifts, your craft, finessing your understanding, mastering your capabilities even more so. Also, by doing self-help and self-work, I see that deep down, a lot of you are longing for love. Now, I do see this as the Princess of Pentacles, but I see her, as I'm reading this energy, as someone who's longing for true love. I also get the sense that Archangel Raphael is helping your daughter with this as well. The Queen of Swords, remember how I spoke about the Queen of Swords earlier? There's 444 on the timer that was just popping up as well. Archangel energy is 444. I see here that most of you have a mother who is divorced and kind of disillusioned by the energy of romance. But I see that they, with the Empress here, again, big mother energy here, I see that they are definitely willing and supportive of making sure that you have your happily ever after, because that's also their happily ever after. I mean, which mother or which, you know, father, but which mother doesn't want to have grandchildren? I mean, you know, it's kind of like the age-old desire, isn't it? So the Empress is the mother here. Now, the Eight of Swords, the Eight of Cups, and the King of Cups. So I do see, wow, we have Jesus's energy here. I see that a lot of you have ended and started and ended new relationships, ended old relationships. I would say even platonically, but romantically speaking, there's been a lot of that, and you've always felt a bit like a fool in love because it hasn't always worked out fully. I do see a true love coming in, someone who, this King of Cups keeps coming in the readings, have you noticed? It doesn't matter which deck. Someone who is incredibly open. The Emperor, yeah, we have the Emperor here. Someone who is very, I would say underneath it all, a bit self-conscious about themselves. I don't know why this is. I think maybe it's because they themselves have also been working on their work and their career. They've been on the career ladder. They've been chasing dreams. They've been successful with it, and it shows. You know, there's evidence of that. But I see that deep down there, they're very soft, very connected to Yeshua, very connected to Yeshua's energy. They may also have the CR in their name, or CHR in their name, or, you know, JE or Y could be significant in their name as well. I do see that. I also see that this is someone who's very connected to the Christic knowledge, They have actually experienced a lot of spiritual awakenings to a very, very high level. In fact, they are actually masters. I wouldn't be surprised if they are yogis or some sort of high master level martial artist. I'm convinced of that. I'm also picking up on Hawaii as well. I'm picking up on First Nations people. Now I'm going to Uluru, so I'm picking up on Aborigines as well in Australia. I'm also picking up on Kiwis, First Nations of the Peloponnese as well. Just First Nations all around. This person could have a child. This person may want a girl specifically. Maybe they had hopes to have a child with someone else, but it either landed on deaf ears, but I feel like there was a tragedy in the relationship. There was some sort of destruction, or maybe an affair. Maybe there was a betrayal here. For those of you who don't resonate with that, I see some of you are dissatisfied in love. There's a misalignment, the Two of Cups in the reverse, the Five of Swords. There's a bit of sneaky behavior here, and all you want is true love, true healing. You want There's something about you having left that relationship recently and are more focused on I would say really the end game, with the Star card and the Ten of Coins. I haven't really mentioned star signs, to be honest. I don't think it's really relevant in this reading. We have the Four of Swords. The reason why a lot of your relationships broke down is because you were the one that was shining the brightest in the relationship. And there was a level of insecurity and jealousy. We have the Tower here and the Death card, the Princess of Swords, the Queen of Cups and the Ten of Wands, that was eating away at your significant past person. You shine very brightly. A lot of you are also Earth Angels too, in spirit and in being. I see that this person is, even though the relationship has ended, there's this person who's keeping an eye on you. They're driving around your workplace, they're connecting with you or trying to connect with you in some way, and I see that you're just not interested. I see that sooner or later, most likely sooner, this person's going to have some sort of mental breakdown, because they will realise that actually you have moved on and you've ended. You're just not interested. There's no communication on your end. You're very, very much guarded. I also do see some sort of legalities being put in place in order for you to be totally protected from this person. Yeah, someone from your past. Look, we have the Justice card, the Nine of Swords, and the Six of Cups. Someone from your past wants to reach out, connect, bring about old memories and nostalgia. Remember, you have definitely, you know how to use discernment. You know that the nostalgia wasn't actually the truth. The reality and the truth is there was a toxic relationship that you were in. I see that this person will be in reflective mode, Virgo energy, Hermit. I do see that you are also looking after your body temple. You're healing. You're focusing on your relationship. For those of you who are in a healthy relationship, you're focusing on your home, your family. You're also focusing on your beauty, looking after yourself, your physique. I feel your hair, your face, what makes you really unique. That's the thing that you're making it stand out the most. For those of you who use makeup, you're pronouncing that even more so, like your eyes or your freckles or your hair or the colours that you wear. It's being pronounced more so. You're more accepting of who you are. You're less harsh on yourself. I love that. And I see that you're entering this wonderful time, this era, Archangel Raphael is saying, of bounty, of glory, I'm hearing, as well as a lot of people being attracted to your essence. And we have the Wheel of Fortune here, as well as the Three of Swords. So as you move on and have destined financial growth, riches, fame, fortune, which remember we shared recognition earlier, there are people who are going to be left in the mud, left in destruction mode. And it's not necessarily you're not paying any mind, there's a level of compassion that you have, but there's also this level of self-respect. So that's the key message here. So yeah, I don't really know what to call this reading, but if you like this reading, claim it down in the comments. Claim it down in the comments. I'm choosing me once and for all. Maybe you can share that. Beautiful Archangel Raphael messages. Thank you so much. Let's also go to these cards here and see what these cards specifically want to share. They're kind of fun. It's been a while since we've used them. We used to use them a lot during the pandemic. So let's have a look. Messages. Ooh. Okay. All right. So we got the whistle, We got the bear. Yeah, whistle as you work, you know, whistle while you work. Make your menial, boring tasks fun. The bear is hermit mode for sure, but the bear is outside now. So this is about being outside, flirting, communicating, networking. Your social group is also part of your wealth status as well, you know. We have the camera as well, so I see that you're going to be making memories, new memories, making new friends, but I also get the sense that there is someone who's keeping an eye on you. Yeah, whistle as you work with the bee. Travel, yay, excited for travel, excited for new adventures. A hat could be significant. This could be an ancestor who used to wear these kind of hats, like fedoras. We have a football as well. Bring on the World Cup. Footy. And we have a deer. What is it? It's not a deer. That's not a zebra. It's an ass, I think. So yeah, don't be an ass on yourself. Have fun. Have a life of fun with no regrets. I'm hearing that song, You Can Keep Your Hat On. Very sensual song as well. Yeah, I love that. It's like, yeah, just cool jazz, soul music, real soul music. And making memories. You might want to invest in a new camera. Go analog, you know, go analog for a bit. And we have the elephant. So yes, you definitely learnt your wisdom. You've learnt how to become a bit more wise with your age and your experiences. But I also see with the elephant being a symbol of family as well as abundance. Expect that coming through. Wild animals as well. Have fun as you are elevating your status. There's also this energy of your frequency is much, much higher, brighter, lighter, because you're letting go of people who try to distract you, tear you down in any which way. And because of that, energetically, you're also unburdening yourself and your frequency becomes lighter and brighter and more attractive. Thank you so much for listening. It's been an absolute pleasure reading for all of you today. If you'd like to tip me for this energy exchange, I do greatly appreciate it. And if you'd like to book a reading with me, go ahead and book. Thank you so much. God bless. And I'll see you at Sketchbook Club at the end of July. Take care. Bye for now.